Please note, views and opinions expressed in the course of this program do not represent that of WOTV. Therefore, this channel is not liable to any legal action that may result from this program.
Ẹ kú dédé àsìkò yìí, ẹ sì káàbọ̀ sórí ètò ọmọ Oòduà tó ń dé sójú ìwòran yín o láti iléeṣẹ́ ìkànnì WOTV. Òdu ni wá àwa kì í ṣàìmọ̀ fólókó. A tún ti dé o sórí ètò bá a ti ṣe máa ń dé. Tó ètò ọ̀hún ló wá balẹ̀ báyìí bí ọ̀wàrà òjò sójúde yín o. Àwa òmìnira bá wá pèrè fìdí àbẹ́ bá ń fìdí tí a pèrè mọ́lẹ̀. Kájọ kan lágbá mi ètò tòní nítorí pé ń dá mú afúra wa lórí ètò lónìí ó gbọgbọ́n. Kódà ó gbẹ̀ngbẹ́ ẹ jẹ́ ń pè ní ó gbẹ̀ngbẹ́ nítorí pé kàyéfì ọ̀rọ̀ kàbìtì la máa ń pè ní kàyéfì ọ̀rọ̀. Tó ẹ bá wá pèrè fìdí àbẹ́ bá ń fìdí tí a pèrè mọ́lẹ̀ ká kọ́ lágbá mi ètò tọ̀hún ká máa bá kíní ọ̀hún bọ̀ bá a ti ṣe máa ń ṣe tá a máa ń kìbọnú ara wọn lẹ́lẹ́yọ̀ ẹ̀yọ̀ bó bá ti wá yá yín bó bá ti yégun ni o ṣe mọ̀ pé ó ti yọrẹ́ àwa tá a wà ń bí náà àbá tèrè wá bí torí pé bàbá débi iṣẹ́ ṣíṣe náà là á ṣe ó ti wá yá ẹja jọ karabodò torí pé àní karabodò tán ká tó ṣe máa wá parọ́ pò tútù mú wá o ó ti yá bó bá ti yá yín ẹja jọ lọ.
Goodness me, I want to remain in the spirit because we must worship heaven. We answer your name, O Lord of hosts. Everything about us is designed to offer glory unto thee. We have atoned for our sins last year. This very year we have not only atoned for our sins, we have spilled, we have shed blood, they have shed our blood. We have let our sacrifice be made unto thee. Even on the 30th of August, as we are being felled by the bullets of the enemy, by the workers of iniquity and of darkness, we remain very strong today to beckon upon thee, to ask you for your mercy and for your grace, to ensure that your kingdom is restored upon the face of the earth, that you can bring your healing hand to bear upon the life of those of them that you created for one singular purpose, and that purpose alone, which is to worship you in truth and in every honesty. Is there any way that we have erred? Is there any way that our ancestors may have sinned? We confess before a congregation of the whole of humanity to ask you, O Lord of hosts, to have mercy upon us. You must have mercy upon us. We have suffered enough. We have been subjugated enough. We have been tortured enough. We have been imprisoned enough. We did not do these people anything. Our only crime is to answer your name. Our only crime is to be born your children. Our only crime is to excel at everything that we place our hands into. Our only crime is to exhibit your glory and your blessing, which manifestedly is upon our lives every blessed day. That is why they want to kill us. That is why the British want to join those of them who don't know you to destroy your creation and your inheritance. You will not allow shame to befall your name. You will not allow the enemies to triumph over the lives of your children, because you created us to exist, to worship, to honor, and to praise you. That is exactly what we are going to do when this Biafra comes. It will come in truth and in every honesty, because we remain every blessed day whiter than white and whiter than snow. Is there any way that we have sinned that you cannot forgive us our trespasses, to enable us to fulfill your own word which was spoken thousands of years ago, that instead of what you promised not to come to pass, that heaven and earth will cease to exist? You opened your mouth to bless mankind to the coming of Yahweh Yeshua, who came here and said, let your kingdom come on earth as it is in heaven. Those words can never be in vain, because they are anchored upon your holiness and your magnificence. That is why in the end we know that Biafra will come, that these children that we have given birth to all over the world, and their children, and their children, and their children, as long as they give birth to them and they are Biafrans, they will worship you in truth and honesty. Through this very work we are doing, mankind will come to understand you. Let your miracle be wrought in our lives. Let us witness and behold your magnificence, your holiness, your mystery, and your grace under our command. O Lord of hosts, we call upon you. We call upon you to heal. We call upon you to provide succor to those of them who are inconsolable. We ask you to come and strengthen those who are weak. We ask you to restore hope where there is hopelessness. We ask you for inclusion where there is destitution. We ask you for one brotherhood, one camaraderie, one bone, one blood, and one flesh of your children. The Efiks and the Bibios, the Izon, the Shekiri, the Isobos, and also those of them from Isoko. We are traveling all the way to the lands of Igala. We are moving on from there to Idoma, to Igede, to the territories of the Igbo land. All these places we dedicate unto thee. All these lands of yours, we ask you to cover it with your mercy. Because Biafra will come, and when it does, we will dance on the streets. I'm telling you, by the time that we are done, humanity will think that we are mad, we are drunk in your glory, and rightfully so, because your kingdom will come to rest upon this very earth. That very kingdom is the unadulterated, non-negotiable sovereignty of the Republic of Biafra, that your will may be fulfilled in our time. All this we pray, all this we ask for, in no other name apart from that name that belongs to you. He said, my name is Nnamdi Kanu. I am the leader of indigenous people of Biafra all over this very planet, I tell you.
You must go and listen to Simon Ekpa, who is doing a very fantastic job. Very great job that Simon Ekpa is doing. Very, absolutely fantastic job. You must listen and share his videos accordingly. Very, very important. He is bringing a new dimension to this very awareness that we are making, and you must listen to him. Very, very important. You must go and listen to Simon Ekpa, who is doing a very fantastic job. Very great job that Simon Ekpa is doing. Very, very, absolutely fantastic job that he's doing. You must listen to him and videos accordingly. Very, very important. He is bringing a new dimension to this very awareness that we are making, and you must listen to him. Very, very important. You must go and listen to Simon Ekpa, who is doing a very fantastic job. Very great job that Simon Ekpa is doing. Very, very, absolutely fantastic job that he's doing. You must listen to him and share his videos accordingly. Very, very important. He is bringing a new dimension to this very awareness that we are making, and you must listen to him. Very, very important.
When we hear sacred words that has to do with humanity, this is what triggers every move we make. I, in particular, I represent that. And the way it is, it's all about the place within you, inside you, where your thought comes from, that made you who you are and brings your reputation. And all of you that are standing for the truth today, this is what you all have in common, as everyone is like, I. Somebody say, I. This is a sacred territory, holy territory. Hola territory, Kodesh Kedus I, Eben Sochi. Somebody say, Chi. I just couldn't hear you, Chi. Olakele kolakele badada nanzopụta Biafra. Olakele kolakele badala kende maka nzopụta wada ụfọdụ ka na-eche ka kwụọ ụgwọ ọlụ mmezi okwu ọjọọ. Ọ maka ha adafụ ụzọ ịfụ na katama wee na-akwụ ụgwọ chi. uku. Somebody help me. Asimono, ibali mochi uku. Ige bugu kwa ezioku. Ibali mau. Ige kuku kwa ezioku mifuya. Ụfọdụ na-emeso gara mana eziokwu na-eyi ọbara. Otu ihe ngwara ụmụ Biafra agakwa ntị onu n'ebe n'ime ọzara. Rastafari anyị n'ime ọzara, ọbata obi ya Ekpa anyị n'ime ọzara, ọhamadike anyị n'ime ọzara, unu nta niile nọ n'ime ọzara. Chi ukwu, say, bless you.
All right. Thank you, Hamadike, for the invocation. Thank you, Biafrans. The reason you are seeing the pie chart is that we want to make it sink to the powers that be, wherever they may be, that the result of our self-referendum was ratified by the delegates here in this hall yesterday. And it is 100% yes. Along with the declaration of the restoration of the independent United States of Biafra, the delegates said yes. That is the key data. No one shall refute that data. The people have spoken. That is why it is on the screen, so that they see it, they internalize it, and then they will begin the discussions. So, ladies and gentlemen, like yesterday, today is full of government and Biafra business. So please, do not come to the stage unless you are invited. At this juncture, we invite the Chief of Staff to present the United States of Biafra Constitution. Madam Chief of Staff.
right. Good day, everyone. All hail Biafra. All hail Biafra. All hail the United States of Biafra. All right, thank you so much, everyone, and welcome back to day 5 of our convention here in Finland. We thank each and every one of you. And like Honorable Chairman has said, today is going to be a lot of Biafran business and the government business. We want to make sure that everybody that has their ID card printed, you're going to get that before you leave Finland. And we also want to make sure that Biafrans get a copy of the Biafra Constitution and the Declaration, and there's the book that was written for Obatobie. I presume they've started selling that or giving that. People have started ordering their copies from the New Dimension Mandate website, which I know most of you in Biafra government are familiar with. You can go there once the link is out to start ordering. This time I'm going to present the Biafra Constitution, and I'm just going to quickly run through the major areas, not the whole Constitution, just the areas of importance, to let the world know that we are ready as a country. We put everything in place. Our Prime Minister, His Excellency Simon Ekpa, has put all the structures needed for us to kickstart our new nation, and we are very, 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 very grateful for that. We also send our thanks to our leader, Nnamdi Kanu, who is right here. I know he'll be happy with us, wherever he is. We thank him for that. I want to use this opportunity also to thank all men on ground, the Biafra Liberation Army, the Biafra Defense Forces that are safeguarding us and taking care of us every day, taking care of our land, preventing the terrorists from the Nigeria state from raping our women, killing our children, and taking over our land. They do this day and night. And our Prime Minister, Obatobie, has set up the structure for that from beginning to end. So we are very, very grateful for that. And then we thank our own Obatobie, His Excellency, the Prime Minister of the United States of Biafra. He is the one that made today's event to be possible. Without him, this may never have happened. So we are very, very grateful. He is the reason for the season. Yes. So I'm going to go ahead and quickly present this Constitution. Again, the table of contents for our Constitution is well established. Professor Chairman. Okay, we need it here so I can. Yeah. So our Constitution covers so many things based on our history and peculiarities and things that are very unique to us as Biafrans. We put all that into consideration in establishing our Constitution. As I said earlier, we have 40 states in the United States of Biafra. Each of these states have 15 counties, and they have the districts, and they have the wards. That is how the government of Biafra is structured. Yeah, but how do I score? Next. All right. Thank you so much. So those of you that are going to get a copy of our Constitution, there are a couple of questions and concerns people have asked in the past. And when you get that copy, please take your time to read every single section of our Constitution. We took care of some of those concerns that people may have in our Constitution. We started with the table of contents for our Constitution. You can see from the beginning, the citizenship, we talked about the confederating state of Biafra. We have a confederate state of Biafra with unicameral form of legislature, which we think is going to serve our people better. And then We talked about the different duties of the states, the relationship between the states and the federal. We have all that covers. We have the citizenship and political rights. We have the relations with foreign states and all that. All that we are captured in our Constitution. Fundamental rights, the citizens' right. Those are basic things that Biafrans have never really enjoyed. Over the years, as we have been part of Nigeria, we've gone through a lot. So those fundamental rights that were denied us as a people, we cover that in our Constitution, where every single Biafran have the power to rise to their highest level, devoid of the ethnicity, the locality, the religion, and all that. We make sure we take care of that to make sure Biafra is and is going to be one of the best countries in the world. We talked about our energy communications in Biafra land. We are going to establish a country where there is freedom of the press. Unlike in Nigeria, where the press is controlled by the government. They are told what to report and what not to report. That is not going to happen in Biafra land. Under our Prime Minister, Simon Ekpa, we established a constitution that is going to guarantee the freedom of the press and the freedom of the Biafran people to express their opinions without bias. So those are the things that we covered in our constitution. Our economy is going to be one of the best in the world because we have the brains. We have Biafra brains all over the world, outside the Biafra land, making and building and creating wealth for countries outside Biafra land. Now we want all our people scattered all over the world to come back to Biafra land and start building that. So imagine what is going to happen when all these brains that are building countries outside, when we go back and start building our country, you know what it's going to look like. We covered all that in our Constitution. We also covered about housing, employment, social security, resident permit, civil law, criminal law, finance system. All these were covered in our Constitution. The people and the state. We covered things like the referendum, political parties, all that are covered in our Constitution. The federal authorities. We covered the Federal Assembly, the Confederation, the Parliament, and membership of the Parliament, the structures, what each state is supposed to contribute to the Parliament, both at the state level and at the federal level. All that is covered in our Constitution. And there are so many positions for true Biafrans to occupy in their state or at the federal level to help us build our country. So there's just no need of fighting for any position. We have millions of positions for Biafrans. Duties and powers of the Parliament was also captured. The executive, the National Executive Council, all that was covered. Citizenship, different type of citizenship, either by birth, by naturalization, dual citizenship, citizenship by registration, denial of citizenship. We took the peculiar nature of Biafrans scattered all over the world in developing the citizenship status of our people. Because most Biafrans run away from the Nigerian terrorist state. Because if you express yourself, if you talk about Biafra in Nigeria, they will come after you, they kill you. As I talk right now, Nigerian government under President Tinubu, they deployed Nigerian military and they are roaming the whole streets of Biafra land. And they kill the young boys, the young girls, anybody that is talking about Biafra just for the ideology, you become a victim. Not anymore. We can't allow that to happen anymore. United States of Biafra is now a full-fledged country. We do not need anybody to approve us as a country. Yes. If you think you are going to wait until United Nations approve us as a country, or until African Union approve us as a country, or until Nigerian government say, okay, you all can go now from your own country, you are going to wait forever. It is our right for self-determination. It is our right to choose our leaders. And that is exactly what we are doing. And United Nations approved that, the right for self-determination. African Union approved that. So it is left for them to continue to work with Biafrans, and we are going to continue to reach out to make the statements using all our international lawyers that our Prime Minister already set up, who have already set a lot of things in motion. And I know it won't be long before we all start going home en masse. In developing the citizenship of Biafra, United States of Biafra, our Prime Minister and the committee that worked on the Constitution, they paid special attention to the peculiarities of Biafrans scattered all over the world. Biafrans that have children all over the world. Biafrans that have husbands and wives all over the world. Biafrans have been chased away from Nigeria government all over the world. Those things are captured, and we put in place structures that will make our Biafran citizens to continue to support whatever foreign government or country where they belong to, and at the same time continue to gradually move back into our Biafra territory. All that is covered in our Constitution. So I know this Constitution of the United States of Biafra, we do acknowledge and affirm with changes, and I'm just going to go ahead and read the final portion of that. The Constitution of the United States of Biafra. The United States of Biafra do acknowledge and affirm with changes the Charter of the Confederating State. Remember, last year we were in Helsinki. We developed a couple of charters that led to this area. Also known as the Biafra Helsinki Declaration in Finland, and herein referred to as Biafra Charter, unanimously adopted as a prelude act by the Biafra Republic government in exile and the Biafra de facto government in homeland on October 21, 2023. Our resolve, we, the people of the United States of Biafra, resolved to redeclare the May 30, 1967 Biafra Independence Day hereby actualize, renew, reaffirm, declare, and continue in accordance and pursuant to the declaration with all the implications thereof. Recognize and salute the sacrifice of our forefathers, our heroes, who were martyred for the cause of our freedom, and those who were killed because they are Biafrans. Reaffirm the peoples and nations of Biafra make neither war nor peace. We, the state or peoples of Nigeria, we exercise a natural right, a popular right, a political right, and a right supported by United Nations Organization Charter and international law. The right to self-determination, right to self-defense, and right to self-governance. In the certain realization that only the effective exercise of self-determination by the peoples and nation of Biafra will end the state of occupation and subjugation by Nigeria. We proclaim that we are one people of one nation, bound together in the ideology of nationhood. Our language, cultures, and traditions are but of a common root and founded by our ancestors. Establish our nation under the sovereign control and eternal lordship of Elohim, or as called in our various languages. Declare that peace, unity, progress, and equity shall be our drive. The sacrifices made by our heroes shall not be taken for granted. Affirm that our nation shall be one of the finest in the world. We shall enforce our complete resolve to the rule of law, principles of equality of all indigenous people of Biafra before the law, and strict obeisance to fundamental human rights as enshrined in this Constitution. Submit that we stand on the principles of equity between men and women and the right of children as provided in this Constitution. Commit to our sovereignty as Biafra nation in strict respect to state governance under the ordinance of a confederacy as provided in this constitution determine that all forms of sabotage, betrayal, and every criminal action intended to jeopardize our nationhood or prejudicing our collective existence shall be eliminated. Again, this is very, very peculiar to us as a country. All of you are aware how long we've been trying to be a nation. After the end of the Civil War in 1970, when over 3 million of Biafrans were murdered. Those things that were in existence in that time, it is still in existence now. And that is why we cannot take the sabotage of this beautiful struggle. We're not going to take it lightly with anybody. We agree to establish sanity in our system of government based on our indigenous models. We shall operate a consensus and pluralistic structure in our system of government. Stipulate that our system of government, which is constitutional based, shall include effective mechanisms in resolving conflict, promote good governance, eliminate corruption, foster unity, reconciliation, social justice, speedy development, promote orientation culture, multifaceted educational approach, tolerance, and nationhood. We collectively affirm and endorse, through our national referendum, the Constitution of the United States of Biafra as a confederacy on this day, 29th November 2024. And again, every genuine Biafra here knows what the history that led to the dates, the two dates, and we cannot take anything for granted. And that is why Biafrans, we will continue to outsmart them. We will continue to do what we are doing. And our international lawyers are fully following the dates. So do not worry about that. So, the creation of the United States of Biafra, the Biafra Act, on the day 29 November 2024, legally establishes the United States of Biafra, consisting of 40 states, hence becoming the officially recognized state of Biafra nation as enshrined in the Constitution. So, all of us here, we've read or we've seen all the different sections of the Constitution. If you are here as a Biafran, or friend of Biafra, and if you do not support this Constitution of the United States of Biafra, please raise your hand. If you do not support, raise your hand. And I want the Brigade Media to cover this particular section. If you do not support the Constitution of the United States of Biafra, please raise your hand. 100% support for the Constitution of the United States of Biafra. Thank you so much, Biafrans. USB, the next one. The currency, yes. Thank you so much, Biafrans. That's the way to do that. We are not wasting time. We got to flow. Thank you all so much. At this point, the United States of Biafra Constitution has been adopted. And the copies, you can pick up your copies and all that. The next item we are going to present to you is the United States of Biafra currency. We have met every single criteria to be a nation, and nobody can stop us. Fellow Biafrans and friends of Biafrans, we hereby present the United States of Biafra currency. The Ejema is our man. All right, thank you so much. Yes, yes, yes. All right.
COS. Please, am I permitted? A couple of seconds, please. I want them to get used to the name. Ejema, nejeje na bata bata. Ejema, Ejema wijoma. Nejeje na bata bata. Asimna Ejema wijoma. Ejema.
Our currency is going to be one of the strongest currency in the world. I promise you that. So in providing our currency, we took so many things into consideration based on how other countries, the standard that is operative. While we take the good things from different countries, we also put the good things that the Biafra people have experienced to pass the message to the world. In establishing the currency, we have the notes and we have the coins. If you look at the portrait of our one Ejema note, it has the picture of our Prime Minister, His Excellency Simon Ekpa. In the front of the currency, you have the portrait of our Honorable Prime Minister, the denomination 1 in numerals, and in English, we have the Bank of Biafra logo, we have the watermark of the Biafra Rising Sun, we have the watermark of the Honorable Prime Minister, the ESM portrait. When you look at our currency, the front, in all Biafran banknotes, you look deeply, you are going to see in the background the picture of our Prime Minister and our leader, Nnamdi Kanu, hidden inside those notes. So when you start using our notes, look out for that. You can't just see it ordinarily, but when you look deep, you will see there are pictures hidden inside all the notes. On the back of, again, in the front of our Biafra notes, you are going to see the signature of the Treasurer of the United States of Biafra and the Secretary to the Treasury. You're also going to see the numbers written on the left upper hand side and on the lower. And then you're going to also see the year that money was printed. All that is going to be captured here. And Biafra notes are going to carry top security features that will make it hard for people to manipulate or fake our currency. On the back of our $1, of our 1 ejema, you are going to see our loyalty to God. Biafra is built. Biafra is built with loyalty to God. We also have the back, the image of the refinery. Biafra country is where we have majority of the mineral resources that comes from Nigeria, but we are the one that don't enjoy those resources. Not anymore. Not anymore. That takes us to our 5 ejema, which is our second note. Our 5 ejema have the portrait of Chukwuma Nzogu. We have the denominations, 5 in numerals and English. We have the Bank of Biafra logo. We have the watermark of the Biafra Rising Sun. We have watermark of a palm wine topper. And if you look deep, inside you will see the head of our Prime Minister and the head of our leader, Nnamdi Kanu, in that currency. Still same features on the back. On the reverse side, we have the denominations. We have the image of the Obudu Mountain Resort and the Ahun Waterfalls. And we also have the watermark of the images of MNK and ESN. All right, that is our 10 ejema notes. So we have the portrait of our Honorable Mazi Nnamdi Kanu in the front. We have the denomination 10 in numerals and English. We have the Bank of Biafra logo. We have the watermark of the Biafra Rising Sun. We have the United States of Biafra in all our notes. And we also have the 10 ejema used as a background. In the reverse back, we have the image of women farming. In the reverse side, we try to showcase all the different things that are peculiar with Biafrans. And that is what we're, even in this 10 ejema, if you look deeply, you will still see the head of our MNK and our able Prime Minister Simon Ekpa in the background. We have the 20 ejema. We have our 20 ejema with the portrait of Margaret Ekpa. The denomination 20 in numerals and English. Bank of Biafra logo, the watermark of the Biafra Rising Sun, 20 Ejema used as a background. We have fishermen at the background. On the background shows our loyalty to God. And then also shows the fishermen and some cultural explanations on the background. That is our 20 Ejema. Again, all the features we see are consistent in all the notes. So we go to the next note. Our 50 Ejema note with the portrait of our leader, Philip Effiong. Denomination 50 in numerals and English, the Bank of Biafra logo, watermark of images of skyscrapers at the background. Again, each of these notes, if you look inside, you see the head of MNK and ESN inside. On the back, we have our loyalty to God, and then the images of the Afara tree, watermark of the Biafra Rising Sun, and watermark of 50 Ejema reading on the background. This is our 50 Ejema with the same features we see in our own 1 Ejema. We go to the next note. Thank you. Our 100 Ejema note has the picture of our own Chukwuemeka Odumegwu. Again, with all the similar features that we have consistent with our money. And then we have the denominations, 100 in numerals and English, the Bank of Biafra logo, the watermark of the background images, all that. We have that image of a futuristic car and a city scape. We have that on the back with our loyalty to God. Those are the notes that we have. And now we are going to move to the coins.
Ejema is older than Naira. Ejema pint and kill Naira.
All right, thank you so much. So, in determining the coins for Biafra, we took so many things into cognizance. So those that may ask, oh, why the stages, why we chose what we chose. Different countries choose the pictures of people that will be in their currency based on their history. There are countries, I think like United States, most of the pictures that are in their currency are dead individuals. There are other countries in Europe that choose both dead and living. In Biafra, we choose both dead and living. In the design for our 1 Ejema, you may have noticed we have our Prime Minister on the 1 Ejema note, and then we will have him on the 1 coin of the coins. The name for our coin is 1 Ejem. And the reason we have him at that one is all these people we featured, they've played a major role in Biafra restoration, in bringing the United States of Biafra. But the individual that has made it happen today is our Obato Bie. Yes, and we give credit to all the people that have tried, that have done the same thing in the past. We chose him on the 1 Ejema coin, 1 Ejema coin, because we strongly believe usually in most countries, the one is usually the one most people use. So we try to make sure that every child, every individual, every person in Biafra, as they continue to use the one ejema in buying things or selling, they will always remember what this individual did to bring the United States of Biafra. So in the front of the one ejema coin, so we have one ejema in the coin and we have one ejema in the note. That is the only one that comes in coin and in note. So we have the portrait of His Excellency by Simon Njoku. We have the denomination one in numeral. The reverse back, we have the image of the three-headed dragon logo, which he loves so much. Conquering dragon. Then we have our one egem. One egem is the lowest, like just regular coin. One egem have the image of the map of Biafra. That is the map of Biafra in front of one egem, and the back image of a computer depicting our prowess in the field of technology. And the primary color is gold. So we go to our next coin. In our 5 gem coin, we have our own Iconsor, and then we have and we have the denomination 5 in numerals. In the back, we have the image of a landscape with a palm tree and the rising sun at the background. Then we have our 10 gem coin. You all remember Bruce Mayrock? We honor Bruce Mayrock. He was the guy that set himself on fire in front of the United Nations building because of the killings and atrocities that Nigeria did to Biafra during the Civil War, 1967 to 1970. He set himself on fire, and that's why we honor him. And on the back, we have the image of basket of mixed fruits and vegetables, showing that Biafra land is a land of vegetation, high vegetation. We have the 25 coin, 25 gem coin. And we have Chief Frank Opigo. He was the one that coined the name Biafra. And that is the portrait of Chief Frank Opigo, denomination 25 in numerals. At the back, we have the image of the palm tree, denomination 25 in numeral, and English primary color is silver. That is the end of the Biafra currency. So we encourage everyone, please, before you leave today, ensure you get a copy of the Biafra, United States of Biafra Constitution and our declaration page. Very, very important. Thank you so much, Biafrans. We have presented the United States of Biafra currency I know we also have our financial monetary policy for the United States of Biafra, and we are also going to do the formal thing that we do for Biafrans here present and friends of Biafrans. If you are in this room and you do not support the use, the approval of the currency of the United States of Biafra, please raise your hand. If you do not support the use, the approval of the currency and monetary policies of the United States of Biafra, please raise your hand. So we have 100% approval. All hail Biafra! Thank you so much.
Happy people.
Ó ṣètì la o. Ó lè rọ́pò lè rọ́ra.
Sure.
Thank you so much. As some of you have been following our Prime Minister, His Excellency Simon Ekpa, during his presentations and plans that he has. Based on the approval and what our Prime Minister has wanted to be done, our Prime Minister, most of you that have listened to him, followed him, will bear witness to this statement that our Prime Minister has always said. Once the United States of Biafra is declared, the current Brigade cabinet will be dissolved. And on that note, based on the powers vested on me, I hereby dissolve the current Brigade cabinet of the Biafra Republic government in exile and de facto. Thank you so much. To present the current structure of the United States of Biafra with Mazi Uche. Thank you so much.
The emperor, the conqueror, the champion, the lion is.
Really come a long way. So, no shaking. So, by the grace of God, I am Dr. Dorothy Anthony. I am the Secretary for the Women and Children's Services. I was tasked by His Excellency, Prime Minister Simon Ekpa Njoku, on September 13, 2024, to be one of the inquiry team regarding the structure of the Biafra Republic government in exile. And on the November 1st, which was my birthday, thank you. On November 1st, 2024, I was appointed to head the Biafra Republic government in exile structure with 3 other team members. 4 committee members, which includes Honorable Dr. Ngozi Orabweze, Honorable Paul Adenam, and Honorable Uche Obi. This structure has been approved by His Excellency Prime Minister Simon Ekpa Njoku. So, the presentation of the pre- and post-United States of Biafra structure. Good day, ladies and gentlemen. Good day, His Excellency, my Prime Minister, Simon Njoku. I know his spirit is here, so we should not be ignorant of that fact. So, distinguished guests, esteemed leaders, honored delegates, Biafrans all over the world listening to me, and will listen to me later on, it is with great honor and deep gratitude that I stand before you today as we gather for this momentous occasion and declaration, the Convention of the United States of Biafra. This convention has marked a significant milestone in the long-standing journey of the Biafran people, a journey defined by resilience, determination, and unwavering commitment to the liberation, justice, dignity of our people. Today we have come together to reaffirm our shared history, struggle, and vision for a future where every Biafran can live in peace, prosperity, progress, freedom, and pride. Whether at home or in the diaspora, you can attest to our ID card. So our gathering is a testament of our past and the promise to our future. In the future, the ideals of freedom, equality, and unity will guide us, whether we like it or not. As to build a society, a country that will honor our heritage and respect every human right of the Biafran citizens. As we engage in this presentation today, but with our shared ideas and deliberate on the past, on the best paths forward, let us remember also that this convention that has led to our declaration is not merely about the political or economic structures we wish to create, but about the heart and soul of Biafran people. The spirit that has sustained us through adversity, through injustices and hardship, because most of us in diaspora still face untold hardships. Some are even in the prisons. Some are, are jobless even while they are diaspora. So we are taking our destiny in our hands. We're already taking it already. We have taken our destiny in our hands. So it is this spirit that will continue to drive all of us towards the fulfillment of our collective aspiration. So we already closing the convention today, and I use this opportunity and this space for us to reflect, collaborate, and forge strong, united, and sovereign future for the United States of Biafra. We are here to present to us the structure of the United States of Biafra. The structure of the United States of Biafra is one rooted in justice, equity, respect for the diverse cultures, traditions, aspirations, our experiences, and our professionalism. You know very well that Biafrans have a great and huge human resources. It is designed to ensure that the rights of all citizens are protected and that every state, every county, every ward, region, or community and individual has a voice to shaping our collective future. So we are calling on Biafrans all over the world, bring your talents, bring your gifts, let us go on board and create our nation. Good. Thank you. So we are presenting to you the pre and post structure of the United States of Biafra that will be guided by professionals, experienced, and talented Biafrans. So please, I use this opportunity also to indulge your, all of us. Please let us try as much as we can, right after this convention or declaration, to do the right thing, to stand on the truth. Please, wherever you are, don't think, oh, nobody is seeing me. Let me misbehave, or let me, behave awkward. Please let us respect our nation and work towards a beautiful and the best world, the best country in the world. So as we are working together collaboratively to build this stronger, united, and free United States of Biafra, I start with, you can see, we have this structure, this historic Biafra Redeclaration Convention, we present and affirm the organizational structure of our beloved United States of Biafra. The drive for this structure is rooted on the enduring values of self-determination, justice, peace, unity, and progress, and equity. This framework represents our vision for a free and sovereign nation born from resilience and a shared commitment. The United States of Biafra's organizational structure is crafted to uphold every citizen's rights and dignity, foster inclusion and innovation, and guarantee the effective management of our diverse resources, both human and natural resources. It reflects our aspiration to build a nation where governance is transparent, accountable, and accessible. We embark on this transformation journey, or transformative journey, to shape a future honoring our heroes and our heroines, past and present struggles, securing our present stability, and inspiring future generations. Together, we lay the foundation of a prosperous, peaceful, and sovereign of the United States of Biafra. Right here, we have the table of contents. We have the map of the United States of Biafra and the 40 states and their capital. We also have the separation of powers, the cabinet members, and departments. I'm sorry, we are using departments and not ministries. And we are going to use secretaries and not ministers. So, organogram of Biafra government, structure of the cabinet and all the departments. So here comes the separation of powers. We have the executive power. I just have to go through the titles, because if we continue talking about everything, we will not get out of here today. So we have the judicial power, we have the legislative power, that's the parliament. So here comes the cabinet of the United States of Biafra. The prime minister, the deputy prime minister, the secretary of state, secretary of the treasury, the chief of staff, the attorney general, that's under justice and legal affairs, secretary of defense. And now we have the heads of departments. So as a new country, we'll be wondering, why don't we have maybe, so many departments? As time goes on, we'll be expanding everything. But now we just want to start with something. Because, we don't have our resources are not just present. We have to build on it. So as we build on it, we'll be able to expand further. And also, I want to use this opportunity to state categorically that this structure, each department here, might have up to 10 to 30 units. So nobody should get worried about what you're going to do. Everybody will have something to do, please. So here we have the departments, Secretary of Interior and Homeland Security, Secretary of Transportation and Logistics, Secretary of Oil and Gas, Secretary of Health and Human Resources, Secretary of Science and Technology, Secretary of Education. Our education has suffered, so this time we are going to take it, head on. Secretary of Energy, Secretary of Commerce and Industry, Secretary of Finance and Economic Development, Secretary of Community and Social Services. So let's go on. So Secretary of Housing, Urban Development and Infrastructure, Secretary of Agriculture and Natural Resources, Secretary of Employment, Labor and Productivity, Secretary of Information, Telecommunication and Postal Services, Secretary of Youth and Sports, Secretary of Arts, Culture and Tourism, Secretary of Water Resources and Environmental Management, Policy and Strategic Planning. And that's all for this department. So here comes the organizational structure. Like you can see, this is the organizational structure of what I've just mentioned to you, from the cabinet members to the heads of the departments. And that's the Prime Minister's office. Let me briefly, talk about it. The Prime Minister is the head of government, responsible for leading the executive branch and implementing policies to advance the nation's development. As the central figure in governance, the Prime Minister oversees national strategy, coordinates between ministries and represents departments and represents the country in domestic and international affairs. The Prime Minister is responsible for the day-to-day administration of the government. Some of the specific duties of the Prime Minister include appointing and dismissing secretaries or ministers, no more ministers but secretaries, introducing legislation to Parliament, representing the United States of Biafra at international conference and summits, making decisions on major policy issues, overseeing the work of the government's bureaucracy, providing leadership to the country, and the strategic importance is he drives national progress, ensures stability, and opposes the United States of Biafra values and aspirations. The leadership shapes the government's effectiveness in delivering meaningful change and fostering unity among citizens. And those are the units under the Prime Minister. Like I said, this might be few of the units under the Prime Minister's office. As we grow, the department will expand. So please, everybody should calm their minds and, be rest assured, if you are, you have that skill, you have that talent, you have that experience, you're going to work for the people of, the Biafran people. This is the office of the Chief of Staff. Just 3 people are under his or her office. And that's the Secretary of State. Department of State. Now, here in the Department of State, we only have 8 units. So we will still have more of these units as time unfolds. So, Secretary of the Defense of the United States of Biafra. You can see we have the military, the Air Force, the Biafra Navy, the Border Control, and some other units under it. So, whoever that is going to head, whoever that is the secretary of each department knows what he or she wants and knows what will make the United States of Biafra, a nation to reckon with, depending on your department. So, Department of Defense. Yeah, this is the organizational structure for the Department of Defense. And that's the Treasury, the Treasurer. For now, I could say they have only 5 units. As time unfolds, whoever that is the secretary knows what he or she wants, knows how to, move the United States of Biafra forward. This is the Bank of the United States of Biafra. Already, our Honorable COS has already, talked about it comprehensively this afternoon. And that's the already, she spoke of that. Then this is the Department for Justice and Legal Affairs. Yeah, this is Employment, Labor, and Productivity. These are the duties. Education. Here, Biafra Department of Science and Technology and Education. We have, instead of bringing everything together, we want to give the best to our children. Someone mentioned about it, was it yesterday or today? Our education is good. Yeah, it was today. Someone was talking to me about the history of Biafra. We have a long way. We have come a long way. And our history cannot be written out. Because in Nigeria, I understand that some of the institutions don't even have history. So we have our voices, and we are going to tell our story and our history. Agriculture and natural resources. We have the Interior and Homeland Security. Department Culture and Tourism. We have other units there too. We have their responsibility. We also have transport and logistics. This was a very powerful one. We have almost 30 units here. Yeah, we have our electric buses, our diesel bus depot, metro station, driverless metro, a lot. In fact, we are going to enjoy Biafra. Yeah, Department of Water Resources. We don't have pipe-borne water in Biafra. So we are going to have clean pipe-borne water in Biafra. Thank you. Then our housing and urban development and infrastructure. Was it yesterday? Reverend Anene showed us a little bit of what we have for the Biafran people. Yeah. So our oil and gas. Health and human, we have more than 30 units in our health and human services. This organogram for the health department. Finance, economic development, and trade. So under the department, we have 3 solid departments. So whoever that is heading this, under the finance, economic development, and trade, will still have many units underneath, under the departments. Community and social services. I used to be the secretary for the women and children. So women and children services will come under community and social services. You can see we have the social assistance, family, education and orientation services, disability support, domestic and gender violence, advocacy and legal department unit, that will be unit, community development support for seniors and vulnerable groups, medical assistance, and a lot of them. Information and technology and postal services. That would be a good one too. Postal services. So youth and sports, we have an amazing, I wish Gozie is here to give us a brief, kind of give us, talk to us briefly about youth and sports. He really has a lot for our youths and sports. So policy and strategic planning, that's a department under that too. This, science and tech, I think we've done, this are science and technology. Thank you so much.
Yes, y'all. Understanding, inner standing, outstanding and overstanding, because Biafra stand, Gidibam watching those who cannot stand, Gidibam showing them how to stand, Gidibam hoping they will someday stand, Gidibam, Biafra stand, watching those who cannot stand, showing them how to stand, hoping they will someday stand, Gidibam.
Thank you. Yesterday, I was talking about the women and the children. We have these women from back home country that exhibited their skills in their traditional way. I think they exhibited a drama that involved Onyendu and Simon Ekpa. You know, how Onyendu was kidnapped, sent to, is still incarcerated by the zoo government, and how our Prime Minister now came and took the struggle. So they will show a brief drama on that, and now the dance of the women. Then subsequently we have the children dance, those back home country, that have showed their skills in cultural dance. Thank you so much.
Good afternoon. I hope we are having fun. And I hope we all know why we are here. And everything is going accordingly. Yes. Please, members of the lobbyist committee, before the lunch, if you all can come up here so we can have some pictures. I just want to make this announcement because you guys have been working really hard. And also members of our redeclaration, that's Biafra redeclaration, the committee. Okay, during the lunch, if you all can come to the stage for picture, we really appreciate that. And at the banquet, we will be giving the certificate for every member that participated, and that will encourage others. Whenever Biafra need you, do the needful. And it's good that you'll be rewarded and remembered. So whatever we are doing, we always want to carry everybody along. Biafra need everyone, and without your support, without what you are doing, we're not going to be here today. So if you all can look at this beautiful arena, and the food we'll be eating, and the transportation, and how everything is organized, is because of your effort, is because of your contribution, is because of what you bring to the table. If you have not been supporting, please kindly, it's not something that one individual or two can do alone, but collectively, we'll be able to achieve one common goal. So my fellow Biafrans, please kindly key in any of the community, and whenever you get the information of what do you need to do to serve your country, it's really important. Thank you.
Wow. Who is happy? Let's see your hands. Yay! All hail Biafra. All hail Biafra. I know we are just beginning. A new chapter is about to begin. Marching to our homeland. Biafrans, it's time for lunch. We are having a late lunch, so please let us go straight to the lunch room. We have 1 hour because today is packed with activities. Straight to the lunch room, have your lunch, and let's be here 3:35. If you want, wear your time on your wrist, 3:35. Thank you. Members of the lobby group and declaration sponsors, please, you need to take a picture with the finance minister.
Let us go through this.
A beautiful earring. Please let me know, because the sister that owns it lost one of it. There is the iPhone that was picked up is with me. If you lost your iPhone in a pause, iPhone, come to me and show your evidence of ownership. Thank you.
And I said before I speak to them, I also give my conditions, which I know they couldn't meet. It's not possible for them to meet it. And I did it deliberately. I don't want to speak to them. They sent all Jews of Cairo to come to me. First to my parents. My father said no. My mother said no. That where I stand is where they stand, in life or in death. And they came to prison. I was even from DSS dungeon. The promises came. The vice president, anything you want. You have a very beautiful wife. You better go and enjoy her than being in prison. Wow. Anything you want. And I said no. But what I want is a referendum to determine if you good people want to be part of the zoo or part of Nigeria or part of Biafra. Choose one, zoo or Biafra. They said no. And Isibajo tried to make contact. When I came out, I don't know if I've told this story before actually. And Ohaneze hijacked it. I went to see Niawode in his house. We sat down, had lunch together. And I told him what my conditions were to lift the boycott in Anambra State, which they couldn't meet. And I said to Nwode very simply, go to Abuja and tell these people that these are what our people are asking for. I said to him, go and bring us something. Not for me, for everybody. He went there and started negotiating for a ministerial position for one of the children. I'm telling you what I'm telling you is fact, ask him. Somebody asked him, but you people are being called to Asorok because of Nnamdi Kanu. Why didn't you tell him that you're going to Asorok? He said it is for Igbo leaders. And And once the powers that be knew that he hadn't IPOB support, they just gave them 5 million naira for transport and dismissed them. Hadn't Nyawodo remained with me, when the governors called me, I told them the same thing in front of Professor Ben Wabese. They said, oh, but Wodo, Soludo, Bremad is upstairs. Do I want them to come? I said, no. Government House, the former DSS director came with his bags of money in euros, in white sacks to bribe. Ask anybody working in Government House in Enugu. I said, no, I don't want to see them. Not because I want to be the only cock crowing, no. Because of consistency. Can you last? When you're tempted, are you going to succumb? Can you sustain this very effort we're making? So they have come. And I gave them my conditions which they can never meet. Open Warri Seaport, open Iguacha Seaport, open Calabar Seaport. Make Enugu an international airport where we can fly to US and come in at will. Build Iguacha Enugu, Onitsha Enugu Express Road. Complete second Niger Bridge. Are these things difficult?
No.
As I'm telling you this, go and ask them in Asarok if you have friends there. They have the piece of paper I gave to them. They ran away. Because some Igbo men were busy gossiping, saying if you allow him, when he finishes fighting Nigeria, he will come here and fight us and kill all of us. That's what they said. And you know one other thing they said? They told every Igbo billionaire around the world that nobody should give me one dime. Ask them that if you give Nnamdi Kanu money, he will go and buy weapons. That nobody should give me anything. I'm going to hear in Agabiga, you won't believe it. That we are here by the grace of Elohim, not by any of our strength, to be honest with you. Any day we are serious, the world will know. How do you want Canada to regard the Biafra referendum or even USA? The people that the ambassador knows are the governors or maybe Hanese. Did you people not hear that British government went to Biafra land when I was in prison? Oh my goodness. The British High Commissioner was touring everywhere. When they wanted to kill me, went to Obi of Onitsha and asked him, what do we do to Nnamdi Kanu? That one said you can kill him if you want. They went to Atusia told them you can never touch him. If you touch him, this person will burn. How many times has the US government been to Enugu? They go to Ohaneze. I don't want to say it. They went to Ohaneze and the governor, they asked them, what do you want? Oh, leave those rascals, leave them. Miscreants. We want restructuring. What they're asking for is untenable. But the same man said if there is no restructuring, they'll join IPOB to do Biafra, isn't it? That's right. Did he complete what he said? No. Is he doing what he said he's going to do? No. And you want me to work with these people? It's not going to work. I say, and I'm everything I do, I say it in the open. Not gossip. And those that spoke to Uche, I am going to Chicago to broadcast live to the whole world and tell them they're in trouble. I've told them every time they contributed to IPOB will be announced for the world to hear. Tell them there'll be no hiding place for gossipers, in as much as I'm concerned, because I know what I've committed to this very movement. Not that I'll become Biafra president. No. So that I can take Nemeka and Nnamdi back to the land of his ancestors. To that same land that Chukwu Kabiyama said, you people must be here. And I'm Mariano. I'm fighting for Biafra that we may be free. Thank you.
This man is running for the presidency of Nigeria. Atiku Abubakar is from the Cameroons, as I'm sure you know that. The Constitution of Nigeria clearly spells out that you must be born a Nigerian before you can put yourself forward. Atiku Abubakar was born in 1946. Their part of Nigeria only joined that zoo in 1961. Now, the simple question is, was Atiku Abubakar born a Nigerian? The answer is no. Then why is he contesting? Can he speak full-footed? Your BBC, go and interview him. Get a Fulani journalist to interview Jubril. Ask him questions in his local dialect, in his mother tongue, which is Fulfude. The dead Buhari spoke Fulfude language. How come this one cannot speak it?
Is there any evidence?
And I will give you another one. I want you to go to Asarok today. You will see that his ear, the left lobe, is intact. Buhari's own is not there. Everyone knows that. Go through the pictures, you will see it.
Well, we've actually looked at that. We've checked the pictures,
And
we've looked at videos, and we saw that the same left ear lobe is missing in the present person.
No, you're looking at photoshopped pictures. Go to Asarok. I plead with you. BBC should go there and have a look.
But Buhari has been campaigning all this while, appearing on TV everywhere, and people have seen him physically. We have colleagues who have seen him physically.
You're telling me you don't know about live editing of videos?
I have colleagues who have seen him physically, who know that that's the same Buhari with the same defects on his left ear lobe.
Why didn't they publish it, the pictures?
They have. I know we publish it on BBC.
No, not at all.
We publish it on BBC.
This man there is not. No. Have you seen the palm of his hands before? This new one?
Pictures and in videos.
And you think they're consistent?
I think so. But the question is, aside from that, what tangible evidence do you have?
That is the evidence. You have fingerprints, don't you? Are yours and mine the same? It's like snowflakes. No two are the same. Since snow started falling on this very earth, no two snowflakes are the same for millions of years. And I want to know why. Evidentially, you know that the palm of his hands, the lines that you have running across his palm is not the same. We have it. That is why he can no longer wave at people. After my expose, he stopped waving. Now he goes that way in public, trying to cover the lines on his palm. Everyone knows that.
They say that's 4 plus 4 more years.
Of course, there is a very clever trick.
Okay, but there's this other question relating to that, and that pertains to how exactly you escaped or how you left your home. Because from all indications and information we got was the army actually cordoned off Omaya.
Yes, they cordoned off the place, but they don't own the land we do. That's our land, we own it. So there are places, or should I say there are areas and routes around our place where the army, even with the worst intentions in the world, couldn't have, imagined that we could have used to make our way out of that very hellish situation. So we understand the terrain more than they do.
Okay, so you weren't kidnapped by the army like some of your supporters actually said?
Not at that material point in time, no.
Okay.
I wasn't. Because I had to recover. I sustained very severe injuries, which before now, I've not been able to talk about because I don't want to give my enemies something to gloat over. I sustained very severe injuries, and I had to take some time to be attended to medically.
Is that Jewish connection the reason you went to Israel?
I know that nothing will happen to me in Israel. Let's put it that way. I know I'll be very safe in Israel.
Okay. On the Biafran deaths or people who, IPOP supporters who have been killed,
yes.
Like you've said, you talked about 20 people who died. There were those who accused you of not mentioning their name in your first broadcast, and you mentioned the name of your dog.
Those that died these were men who were very close to me. Most of them sacrificed themselves that I could live. We must understand that. And we are not in the habit of mentioning names. We lost over 900 men at war
since you re-emerged, you've ignited a call for referendum.
Of course, yes.
And now we've got an election in Nigeria coming up on Saturday, presidential election.
Yes.
And we are calling for a referendum and for a boycott of the election. What exactly do you hope to achieve with this call for boycott at this stage?
Send a very clear and unmistakable message to humanity that we are serious about Biafra. We will lock Biafra down on the 16th to convey this message that Biafra is all that we are seeking, is all that we want, not Nigeria. It's expired a long time ago. Biafra is of greater emotional significance to me than my family. As I told them when I started, I will sacrifice anything for Biafra, including them. My wife understands that. Biafra, freedom.
I lead the indigenous people of Biafra, and also I am the director of Radio Biafra and Biafra Television. And my job and my duty is to serve the people of Biafra up until the restoration of the stolen sovereignty of Biafra land is restored, and also to an extent to Yoruba land in Benin Republic. Some are in Togo. For over 20 years, I have been a very vocal advocate of a Yoruba nation that will also encompass the Yorubas in Benin Republic and those in Togo, because they are Yoruba people. Wouldn't that be very wonderful? Why should white people come from Europe and decide that some Yorubas should be Togolese, some should be from Benin Republic, and some should be from Nigeria? You're a Yoruba man. What do you have in common with a Kanuri man? Absolutely nothing. But I can tell you, you have something in common with a Yoruba man in Togo. You have something in common with a Yoruba man in Benin Republic. Why should you see a Kanuri man as your fellow citizen in Nigeria and not a Yoruba man who lives just a stone throw from Badagry? So these are the anomalies that Africans need to sit down to address. That is why we have arrested development. That is why nothing seems to be working, because the convergence of these diverse value systems from the core Arewa North, from the West and from the East is making it impossible for Nigeria to function as a viable state. And that is a recognition that we must, at this very point in time, be able to address as educated people. Not that I hate Nigeria. I hate the name. I despise it with a passion. If you allow me, I wouldn't exist tomorrow morning. Anybody who answers or addresses him or herself as a Nigerian is a product of neocolonialism, not something that I am prepared to accept, because Nigeria never existed until Flora Shaw gave her that name, Nigeria. Before that, you had Oduduwa. Before that, you had Biafra. Before that, you had Kanu Empire, and all these wonderful and weird civilizations. Now, a white man cannot come from Europe and then create an identity for me. Only God in heaven can do that. And I can give an identity to my dog. The only thing you can name are your children and your pets. They are not our fathers. They are Caucasians. We are Black Africans. They have no right being in Africa and giving us names. And that I will never, ever accept.
Military and security experts have said it is impossible for any country to fight 2 civil wars without monumental repercussions. Have you considered this? And what lessons did you learn from the last Nigerian civil war?
The lessons that I will learn from the last war, if I can begin by addressing your last question, is that we should not have given up. Even though we were overawed as a result of a global conspiracy of unprecedented proportions. Biafra-Nigeria war was the Third World War, because in that war, if you leave Nigeria and Biafra alone, Biafra would defeat Nigeria anytime, any day. Pound for pound, Biafra would defeat Nigeria anytime, any day, and I make bold to say this. But Britain got involved. They imposed a no-fly zone over Biafra land. They imposed air, land, and sea blockade to stop us from getting food and arms. But they went behind the back of the world to negotiate with Russia to supply arms to Gowon. They even brought in Egyptian pilots to fly their planes for them. Nigeria has never won any war in its history. Ordinary Boko Haram, they are begging Niger, they are begging Chad, they are begging Cameroon to help them. They've never won any war. The only thing they specialize in doing is killing civilians, as they did at Lekki Tollgate. That's what they can do. Nigeria has never fought any war. An army is meant to go out to win territories for the country that it claims is coming from. The same way that Lugard led an expeditionary force to come to create Nigeria for the crown in Britain. Nigerian soldiers have not done that before. Anywhere they go, they're humiliated and they come back. So I wouldn't actually see, I wouldn't describe what transpired between 67 to 70 as a Biafra-Nigeria war. Is Biafra versus the whole world. The United States was ambivalent. They never actually, should I say, participated as they should. Britain was there running the whole show. They destroyed Aburi Accord, destroyed the agreement reached between Ojukwu and Gowon. They came back and they instigated a war. That was all they did. There was not, I wouldn't see it as a war. And I want to let Nigeria understand this. There is that tendency, that what I call the Fulani Janjaweedism, there is that tendency to intimidate, that tendency to terrorize, that tendency to subdue, overraw, and then conquer people. It is not going to happen in our time. They will try, but they will fail. The more they focus their attention in the East, the more the terrorists that they themselves spread in the North will overrun them there. So I am not in any way, shape, or form either phased or overawed. They will come again because it's in their nature, and this time around they'll be roundly defeated.
Well, I think with due respect to our men and women of armed forces, I believe they are well rated. I visited them in Liberia. I visited them in Sierra Leone. In Liberia, we were controlling 10 out of 15 counties. In Sierra Leone, in fact, we actually lost one of our brigadiers, and the Sierra Leoneans are eternally grateful to us, because but for the support from Nigeria, both countries, I don't know what would have happened to them. In fact, at the time, Professor Adeniji was the head of UNANSIL in Sierra Leone. I think it would be unfair to describe us military as weak. It is possible, yes, that they got support from somewhere else. Of course, there are allies. That's why you had NATO. In fact, it's one of the reasons a lot of people are angry with America under Trump, that he has virtually collapsed the relationship, military ties to other countries. So I'll leave it at that. But then I want to go to the next question. The Igbos are obviously marginalized in the political configuration of Nigeria, but they have done extremely well globally in business, in sciences, in commerce, and so on. Won't they risk a lot of these spectacular achievements if you decide to go the way you want to go?
I should have thought that your question should be along the line of, had those people been in Nigeria, don't you think that Nigeria would be a better place? For instance, but it's never happened and will never happen for the following reasons: resentment, envy, and the need for the Fulani Janjaweed Caliphate to dumb down the standard of excellence so that everybody can become an Alimajiri. That's exactly what I have done. I am not shocked nor surprised that we are recording not just, Igbo people or Biafrans, but Yorubas are doing the same thing as well all over the place. It's there. What I then want to ask people is this: why is it that we cannot wake up one morning and hear that there is one Fulani mathematician in Florida doing very well, maybe working for NASA? Why is it that we have not woken up one morning to hear there is one Fulani man or woman voted in as a mayor or as a parliamentarian somewhere in Europe? It will never ever happen, because that is not their orientation. That is not how they were brought up to see society. The recognition of people's skills and talent is a prerequisite for the driving of any progressive society. That hasn't happened in Nigeria, because if you're not from the north, may God help you. Why is Nigeria suffering today? Nigeria is suffering because of successive regimes of mediocrity and sub-standardization, for the simple reason that people do things based on ethnicity. People want to protect their tribe. Even if they're performing very badly, they want their tribe to become preeminent. And in the process, those men and women who are skilled, who are well-read, who are well-learned, they get forgotten. And then, of course, they travel abroad, and you can see their excellence come to the fore. And that's exactly what has been happening. What we are saying is that once we have Biafra, they will all come back home. And Biafra will quite rightly become the light of Africa and Black people all over the world. Because without Biafra, Black Africa will keep floundering, and there can never be any progress.
I'm sure you know that politics is a game of number. And it has been theorized that the domination you complain about of the, what you call the Fulani hegemony, has been made possible because of the lack of unity amongst the peoples of North Central, Southeast, South-South, and Southwest. And that if they unite, they will be able to end the perpetual dominance of the so-called Northern oligarchy. Do you agree?
100%. And that was why some of us threw our weight behind our children. Some people will say, refer to me as a youth, but I'm not. I'm a very old man. I may look young, but I'm a very old man. Now, the reason why we supported our young people was because for the first time in living memory, we managed to bridge that divide, to bring everybody closer around an issue that is of importance and concern to all these people. Were you not surprised when, following what transpired on the 20th of this very month, the same people that have failed and will continue to fail, the same leadership structure, or should I say the same cozy boys club that they formed, if your father is passing on, he will hand you over to the next buffoon to groom you in this politics of mediocrity that you find in Nigeria. Were you not surprised and shocked that the same people managed, or should I say succeeded, in introducing the tribal and ethnic dimension into what we are doing? Those of us in the South, I am proud of the, should I say, the understanding that those of us in the East have with our Yoruba brothers in the West, and of course, as time goes on, also Middle Belt. There is now a recognition that we are our own worst enemies. In Katsina State, there are other tribes other than Hausa and Fulani. In Katsina. In Bauchi, the same thing. All across the north. It is not a homogeneous society. The only thing that binds them together is just their language. Underneath, if you scratch the surface, you will begin to see a lot of, they have more ethnic groups in the north than you have in the south. Many more in the north than have in the south. But over the years, the Fulani oligarchy have managed to should I say, moderate their differences. And despite what is going on underneath, they have always succeeded in presenting this united front for the north. Anytime we try that in the south, they bring in what people refer to as professional gossipers. They bring in people who will always do their best to divide us, because the north understands. Any day the Igbo and the Yoruba put their differences behind them, get their acts together, for goodness sake, Nigeria will be a better place. Everybody knows that very well. So in order not to allow that to happen, they now appoint, or should I say, rig our governors into office. They go to Ohanese, they bribe a few people to go to Afani, they identify one or two people to, should I say, to groom, to do their dirty jobs for them. And what is that dirty job? You saw it in full view and in full display on the 20th. People that claim they went to school, people that claim they are senior advocates, people that claim they're enlightened, were the ones that introduced the tribal and ethnic dimension into that very successful protest. And you can see where we are today. They are rejoicing in the north. They're having fun in the north. That thing they have always done, once again, they have done it. But of course, they cannot break us. This time around, we just want to let them understand this. The unity between the Igbos and the Yorubas is deeper than EndSARS protest. It is far more fundamental than they can even imagine.
Now, is Biafra your only option, or you are willing to work with other so-called oppressed peoples to form a union like it is in the United Arab Emirates?
Everything depends on what the people want. I am a Democrat. I am a Republican by genetic disposition. Anything the people want is what they're going to get. My dream and my mission is Biafra. Let's say during a referendum, people decide we want to be, yes, Biafra is good. We can answer Biafra within a union that comprises of Middle Belt, of Oduduwa and Biafra with a new name. Who am I to say no? I'm a Democrat. Whatever the majority decides is what I'm going to do. But as for us, we are pursuing Biafra. And I will also help the Oduduwa people to pursue the Oduduwa Republic. I will help the Middle Belt to do the same. But one thing is paramount. Should our people decide at a referendum or plebiscite to say, we want to maintain a semblance of union with Oduduwa and the Middle Belt, who am I to say no? I am a Democrat and I will go with it. But my primary concern now is the restoration of Biafra.
An audio surfaced recently, I think about 2 weeks ago. It was sent to me by a family member, in which your voice, we heard your voice, directing your operatives to hit certain targets in Lagos. What led to this in a state that has really embraced the people of Southeast and South extractions? If that was your voice, do you regret the action, and are you willing to apologize for it?
It is my voice, but what I said was cut and joined together to suit the very message or narrative that our detractors were, should I say, determined to peddle. If you listen to the whole broadcast that I made, you will find out that that very audio that those people, those charlatans put out there in the public domain is not exactly what I intended. But I have said this before and allow me to repeat. If by making the pronouncement that I made on that very day that I was misunderstood, or that the true intentions of what I was wishing or willing to convey was somehow misconstrued, then I apologize for it. Because I believe that it is very, very important that we understand this. I wouldn't want to do anything, either knowingly or unknowingly, to inflame passions in the West. I wouldn't wish to do anything that will cause my Yoruba brothers and sisters alike to think, should I say, to become jittery about what our true intentions are. You made reference to your operatives. I was addressing Nigerian youths right across Nigeria, not just in Lagos. And given the heat of the moment, people were being massacred. I'm not sure that most of those commentators and apologists for Asorok have had their homes invaded before. When Fela speaks, you can hear the way that Fela speaks all the time about Nigeria Army and Nigeria Police. Why? Because Fela was a witness when his house was invaded, and the mother died as a result of it. There's something happened to me. As a result of Nigeria military invasion of my house, my father is dead, and my mother is dead as well. So when people like us with a first-hand experience of the brutality of a very primitive security architecture in a country as backward as Nigeria, you can then begin to appreciate where we're coming from. If I spoke out of turn, if people who listened to what I said misunderstood the true intentions behind the words that I uttered that night, then I do unreservedly apologize, because nobody can divide the Yorubas and the Igbos anymore. It's not going to happen. They will try, but they will not succeed. That I can assure them. What is of concern to us is that those responsible for the slaughter of those people are held responsible. The same way, I hasten to add, that those who are responsible for the murder that we ordered today going on in Obibo will be held accountable. They will and must be held accountable. I do apologize if I offended anyone, but no offense was intended in the first place. I gave an order to Nigerian youths right across the board to do what they did because the Nigerian state is evil. They believe in killing their own children. They believe in suppressing free speech. They believe in breaking up peaceful assembly with the use of force. That type of nonsense must come to an end, and they must be taught a lesson, and that was exactly what we did.
Okay, let me confess that it was actually that audio that led me to looking for you. You see, I believe that journalists must help their nation to understand some certain people and personalities like yourself. And I want to say at this stage that I'm sending my special thanks to two people. One of them I can mention publicly, the other would not want me to mention him. And the first is Femi Fanikaude, my very dear friend and brother. I contacted him because I knew there is a special bond between the two of you. And he contacted someone else who contacted you. And I want to say thank you to both of them so they know themselves. What is the relationship between you and Femi that every time I see that you are in the same direction?
He is very brave. He is urbane. He is polished and very erudite. He is a scholar and a conscientious one at that. You know, in Nigeria, you have scholars, people who just study for the sake of it, people who just read for the sake of it. He practicalizes what he understands to be humanity. And that is why I love him, I respect him, and I call him a brother. He epitomizes what any intellectual should aspire to be. You intellectualize that is very true or very good, and then you must have a human side to yourself. He is de-tribalized, as you well know, and I'm sure that in time to come, he will have a very great role to play, if not in Ududuwa, but also in Biafra. If Biafra were to come tomorrow, I would take him. And I'm sure that he will have a lot to contribute in making Biafra a better place for everybody to be in. So I have not only love for him, but also have regard for him.
Now, I'm sure you are aware that there are efforts to start a movement that will bring the Yorubas and the Igbos together and closer. Are you willing to play a major role in that union?
Yes, we are doing ours on the ground. You saw the protest on the 1st of October right across the world, Yoruba One Voice and IPOB. So we are doing ours. That was why I categorically stated, and without any equivocation, that the bond between the Yorubas and the Igbos can no longer be broken by anybody. They will try, but they will fail. It can't be broken anymore. So I am more than willing and able to serve in whatever capacity that is required of me to make sure that these two great nations pilot the affairs of Black people in Africa going forward. Because without them, Africa is doomed, more or less.
Now, I will plead with you to take the next question very softly. Because as a Christian, I believe my faith teaches me to render unto Caesar the things that are Caesar's, So which means I respect constituted authority. My question is about your best friend, our president and commander. Now, you propounded this theory of a cloned man, and that our current president is a Sudanese man called Jibril. Do you agree that your information might have been wrong, and you're also willing to apologize to him for that error? Anybody can make a mistake.
No, not at all. Buhari is dead and buried in a shallow grave in Saudi Arabia. Aisha Buhari was there. She came back from what they called a lesser Hajj. She was wearing black. She was mourning. If you look at the pictures that were circulated at that point in time, you will see the smug, or should I say, the forlorn faces of northern governors. A minute silence was held at the AU for a late Buhari. Even Her Britannic Majesty, Queen Elizabeth II, also penned a condolence message to the people of Nigeria before the cabal took over and asked her to rescind it, which she did. Buhari is dead, and I'm prepared to stake Biafra on it. If you, Dele Momodu, can go and prove to me, I'm not asking you to do anything too complex. If you can go and ask this man you call Buhari, whoever it is in Asorok, to come outside, don't do very much, address a panel of Nigerian youths, maybe 20 of them, and speak Buhari's mother tongue, which is Fulfude. I will give up Biafra, I will apologize to him, and I will submit myself to any authority on this earth to do with me as they please. There is no Buhari. Jibril was there. Jibril followed Abakari to Cuba and ran away from there and never came back. The man you have now in Asorok is from Niger Republic. His name is Yusuf Abubakar Muhammad. That's his name. Yusuf Abubakar Muhammad. Even Shekau knows who he is personally and was mentioning his name as well. It is not Buhari. The old Buhari that you and I know, the country cannot be burning and he will restrict himself to only 12 minutes of edited broadcast. Impossible. Impossible. Anybody that knows Buhari, even if he's dying, he must speak because he fought in his own understanding to keep Nigeria one. Anything that impacts or threatens the territorial cohesion and integrity of Nigeria, the old Buhari, in fact, he will be in Lagos. The old Buhari will be in Lagos, I'm telling you. But this little, have you not seen him with his fresh hands of a 35-year-old? He cannot wear this. He cannot wear this. Because if he wears this, his ear will bend because it's rubber, silicone. We know about AI technology. It's deep fake. Please Google it. You're a media man, you must know this. I can replicate this very interview with your face showing us having this conversation, but it is not you. You also saw that some, would I say, some eagle-eyed investigators managed to discover that there was actually a microphone, a loudspeaker on the table. It's everything that they claimed that Buhari was saying was coming from a loudspeaker. From a loudspeaker. Very, very sad indeed. These are the things that the world must understand and come to terms with. That the person you are calling Buhari is not Buhari, and I can stake my life on it. If he comes out tomorrow and takes, or should I say, address any press interview live without Garuba Sheikh doing this, telling people to cut. If he can come out tomorrow, a panel of journalists will, in fact, no, not journalists because some of them are corrupt, youths will address him. There and then you will know that Buhari is no more. There is no Buhari. No country. How can you have a country you claim you're proud of, and that country is run by 10-minute video recorded every 4 months? What sort of country is that? Every 4 months you issue a pre-recorded video to address 200 million people. What an insult. What an insult. in a time of crisis. There is COVID-19, people are agitating, they're very restive. The only thing you can do is 10 minutes video. Laughable and absolutely absurd. And no sensible person should be able to tolerate it. Buhari is dead, and I stake my life on it.
Please don't stake your life on it, because I am very, very convinced that he is alive. I have been meeting Buhari since 2010. Okay, and the last time I met him was 2 years ago inside Aso Rock with a former president of Africa. I met him, we interacted, he cracked jokes with me, he even said, Dele, it seems you've added weight. I am telling you that I am not foolish not to know the person I've been seeing for 10 years. I've worked closely with him on his campaign, and yes, you could have your theory why you think. You see, my own theory is different. Because he was very sick, a lot of people thought that he would die, and God restored his life. And I think that is why you think he is dead. I am personally convinced that he's alive. I believe that a man like President Olusegun Obasanjo will not go and hold any meeting with a cloned president of Nigeria. If I can't vouch for any other person, I know that Obasanjo will never agree. He will talk.
There is a saying where I come from, Dele. If you see something that is greater than your farm, you sell your barn where your harvest of yam is, where you store your yam. Because that is the greatest thing that any Igbo man has in the olden days. If you see something that is greater than your farm, you sell your barn. And you could be a robber. They do not want to expose that the fact that Buhari is dead, because everybody depends on the oil and gas coming from Biafra land. Without oil and gas, Nigeria will be worse than a banana republic. There will be nothing happening there. Nigeria runs what is called a rentier economy. You sell oil and gas to import everything you need, including toothpick, including Indomie and pasta. So what is called the doctrine of stabilization. If you come out and you announce that Buhari is dead, there will be pandemonium everywhere. In fact, the US government feels that if they allow a precipitous collapse of Nigeria, it may impact the wider region. That is what the Africa desk at the State Department has been doing for very many years. So if you expose the fact that Buhari is dead, it will cause pandemonium and there will be regional destabilization. And you will have a whole lot more of foreign terrorist groups to contend with. Now you have 7. Many more will come up. They do not want to turn northern Nigeria into another Yemen, Afghanistan, or Syria, or Somalia, for that matter. That is the only reason why they're keeping quiet. And everybody's hoping that he will make it to 2023 so that Aisha can go with the boyfriend and relax, because Buhari is dead. Absolutely dead and confirmed. Look at the hands of your, I can become a trend. You ever seen that little boy they call Tagwe that used to mimic Buhari, speak the way that Buhari does, crack Buhari jokes? That little boy is an Igbo boy. They've not given him a Fulani girl to marry. You know that little boy called Tagwe, he's a comedian. He mimics Buhari. These things happen. People can mimic Obama. People can mimic whoever they want to mimic. There are expert actors who can do all of these things. But let me make this very clear to you. It's a very simple thing. I'm not asking for a DNA test anymore. If Buhari can hold a meeting, the man you call Buhari, with Nigerian youths to ask him questions and speak his mother tongue Fufude, then I will give up. But I can assure you categorically that you are one of those that they have deceived, but they cannot deceive us. It was a well choreographed, well planned, and executed with military precision. They knew what they were doing because Britain is in charge. Britain is in charge. The same way they took charge of the NSAS protests. You were there, you were watching. When British High Commissioner went to Lagos, did not see the Lagos State Governor, but saw Tinubu. Not up to 48 hours, the army came and started shooting. And now, as they say, the rest is history. The people controlling you are those that created you. The people that made you a Nigerian are those now in charge of your lives. You are not in charge of Nigeria. They are, and are the ones running the show. And maybe next week, you get another 10 minutes video recorded. The old Buhari couldn't have done that. Ask Obasanjo, how many times did you allow them to broadcast a recorded speech in a time of national crisis? How many times? Obasanjo will tell you no. Jonathan, the same thing. Only this thing that they put up there. Now, I will ask you to put on your face mask. Put it on. Put on your face mask. Let us see. Do you have one with you?
Yeah.
Ask them to bring it for you. Put it on. Your ear will not bend. Your ear can never bend. It's impossible because you're a human being. You have cartilage in your ear. But if this ear is made of silicone, as the one that Aisha's boyfriend is wearing, once you put on mask, your ear will bend. Simple. And that is why we have common sense and brain. Keep asking yourself. They took a picture with Jonathan, with everybody, with Yemi Osinbajo. None of them had their ears bent. Only Buhari's ears were bent. Others were wearing the same mask, but only Buhari's ear was bent, meaning that it's made out of rubber, silicone. The person that's not Buhari and can never ever be. Please go ahead.
Okay, so do you have a map for Biafra? Where will it start from and where will it end?
First of all, do you know that if I ask you now, Dele, how many states do you have Igbo people in Nigeria? How many states will you tell me? It's a simple question. You're a journalist.
I would say everywhere.
No. I mean where they are indigenous to, where they come from. There could be Igbo people in Lagos. They're not from Lagos. They're Igbo people. If I ask you right now, how many states in Nigeria do you think that Igbo people are indigenous to? How many would you say? 5 Southeast states? After all, that is the Igbo territory. Is that what you would say?
Yes.
I have a surprise for you. It is 13. Igbo people are indigenous to 13 states of Nigeria. 13. As I told you, those who created Nigeria are in charge of Nigeria. And in order to weaken, to diminish, to render irrelevant every aspiration of an Igbo man, Britain decided to advise the Janjaweed Caliphate to keep redrawing the map until we now have only 5 states. Igbo people are in 13 states. And now let me answer your question. The map of Biafra starts from wherever women tie 2-piece wrapper and ends where they stop tying 2-piece wrapper. In other words, Biafra land starts from Kogi in the north, in Igala land, Idoma, Igede, all the way to Ikodomikodo, Idu land, in Udo, and going down to Bakassi, after Cross River State, and to Bonny, and to Opobo in the south. All these are Biafran territories because if you go there, all the women tie 2 people.
The 13 states. I want the 13 states, please.
You want me to name for you the 13 states that make up?
Yes, please.
Kogi, are there Igbo people in Kogi? I'm sure the answer is yes.
Yes.
Indigenous. Are there Igbo people in Edo State? Yes. We agree. In Edo State, there are Igbo people. I'm not talking about Tubiaja, which is Ishan. We'll come to that later. I'm even talking about a place called Igbo Akere. Igbo Akere. Are there Igbo people in Delta State? Yes. Are there Igbo people in Benue? In Benue State, I'm asking you, Izi community is in Benue State. They speak Igbo. The largest market you have in Benue belong to the Igbo communities in Benue State. Are there Igbo people in Cross River? Yes. So Igbo people are in Cross River. Are Igbo people in Akwa Ibom? Yes. Itu is in Akwa Ibom. There are Igbo people there. Are there Igbo people in River State? Are there Igbo people there? Of course there are. 90% of River State is Igbo. Are there Igbo people in Bayelsa? And you'll be shocked. YES is the answer. There are Igbo-speaking people inside Bayelsa itself till tomorrow morning. The same way you have Ijaw people in Ondo. There are Igbo people in all the 5. I've counted for you the 6 states that make up the so-called South. Imo, Abia, Anambra, Ebonyi.
Yeah, you've mentioned 9 now. 9 states. 1, 2, 3. Kogi, Edo, Benue, Cross River, Akwa Ibom, Rivers, Bayelsa, Ondo.
Have you added? No, not in Ondo. We're not in Ondo. Igbo is not in Ondo. What is in Ondo is Ijo. Ijo is in Ondo, not Igbo. But okay. Ijo is Biafra. And we'll get to that later. And then you add the 5 southeastern states. You have Imo, you have Anambra, you have Enugu, you have Ebonyi, you have Abia. Add all of them together.
Imo, Anambra, Ebonyi, Abia,
Enugu.
1, 2,
add it to the 6.
Okay.
5 southeastern states.
6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. I think 1 is missing somewhere.
One cannot be 6 states. 6 states of the South, 5 states of the Southeast. Then where they are trading, where they are doing business, people from there are Igbo. They are indigenous.
And you think Kogi would agree to go with Biafra?
No, it's about a referendum. We are asking, what we're asking for is that part of Kogi where women tie 2-piece wrapper. That's all. Your mother will tell you where you come from. That's what they do in Kogi, in Enugu State, in Benue State, in Cross River State, all the way down. You can go all the way down to Edo State. It is there till tomorrow morning.
Don't you think you are likely to hit the brick wall if you try to go expansionist, if I could put it that way?
I am an Igbo man. With all due respect, my dear brother, the Yorubas may be comfortable leaving Yoruba people in Togo and the Benin Republic and calling somebody from Sokoto State their brother. I don't intend to do that. Wherever you have Igbo people, they must be together as one. We are not leaving anybody behind. We cannot leave anybody behind. It was the Fulani Janjaweed and the British that caused this problem. You cannot come to my land, you take an Igbo community, you give them to Benue, you give them to Kogi, and you say they're from the north. Ohanese may tolerate it. I will not tolerate it. I can't tolerate it. I am not going to leave one single Igbo community anywhere. They must be part of Biafra. They must be part of Biafra.
What happens? Let's say the other people that you are fighting get provoked and they decide to call your bluff and say, okay, Igbo people in Kaduna, in Katsina, in Sokoto to detent Israel. How would that fit into your plan?
Quite frankly,
before you answer, let me do it as a double warning. And what if the Igbos in those places say they are not interested in joining you?
Hallelujah. We say good riddance. Everything we are doing is based on the consent of the people. There must be a referendum, or should I say referenda, which is the plural, right across the board. We are going to ask people, ethnicity by ethnicity, where they wish to belong. If they say we want to be part of the Janjaweed North, where once in a while you lose your daughter, your wife could be raped, oh, well and good. We let them go. I am a Democrat. I'm not going to force anybody to do anything. And Biafra must come via a referendum. People must agree to it. We are not forcing anyone to do anything. Everything we are saying and doing is geared towards one outcome, a referendum. If they agree, fine. If they don't agree.
So who is going to organize this referendum that you've been talking about?
The United Nations will have to organize it at the right time. They will.
If it is not organized, what is your plan B?
We continue with civil unrest and civil disobedience, boycott of elections. As one of our great heroes said, we will boycott all boycottables until we get what we want. The British never wanted to leave Africa, but they did. Russia never wanted the Soviet Union to break up, but it did. Serbia never wanted Yugoslavia to break up, but it did. Sudan never wanted South Sudan. They never wanted South Sudan to be free. They're free today. Ethiopia never wanted, excuse me, Eritrea to be free, but today Eritrea is free. So that tells you all you need to know. It is not in their hands because you know what? Power belongs to the people. Anything we want is what we're going to get.
Once again, I want to ask this. Do you think this dream is realizable without a war? And are you prepared to fight another war?
This dream can be realized without a war. And let me put it this way, as soon as the people, the various ethnic groups in Nigeria realize what Nigeria means to each and every ethnic group, they will subscribe to our position. So it is realizable without a war. Before the white man came, let me ask you this, because it's an interview, which means you can ask me questions and I can ask you. Before the white man came, was there any Nigeria? Before the white man came, did Nigeria exist? It's a simple question that I'm asking you. Dele, did Nigeria exist before?
It didn't, no.
It didn't exist. Then why are African people, black people dying over something that they did not create? Did any Yoruba man create Nigeria? The answer is no. No Igbo man created Nigeria. No Hausa man did. No Fulani man did. No Kanu man did. No Jukun man did. When you come to Nigeria, it's always a debate about it is our turn. It is our turn. It is our turn to rule. Now there are over 250 main ethnic groups in Nigeria. If you keep rotating the presidency every 8 years to each and every ethnic group, times 8 by 250. How many years are you going to get? So some people will die many times over. They will reincarnate many times over. The presidency hasn't come to them. Nigeria is a joke and an absolute mess. It was not created by black people. Therefore, it cannot be sustained by black people. I want to see an Africa where a Yoruba nation, a Yoruba mega nation extends from Togo all the way to Edo State. That's what I want. Because that is authentic Africa. I don't know why Africans are so beholden to something that is alien to them. Are you a white man? The Luga that created Nigeria is a white man. What are you doing as an African defending something that a white man created out of, should I say, a racist intent? Nigeria was an ordinary company, Royal Niger Company, an ordinary business venture that the British converted into a nation. And Africans are killing themselves, trying to maintain something that a white man created. Sometimes I wonder what type of God made African people. I don't understand it. And that is why you have this neo-colonialism. That is why the British High Commissioner had to go to Tinubu to ask him, how do you end this protest? Because if this protest continues, you're jeopardizing our oil. Nnamdi Kanu can use it as an advantage to go and get Biafra. They asked the army to go in and kill people. You people are being ruled by your colonial masters. Your fate is not in your hand. You're in a country that is 60 years old, so to speak. There is no electricity. If I am a Nigerian, I can't come out and say I'm a Nigerian. I'll be ashamed of myself. For 60 years, you have no electricity. For 60 years, no good roads. For 60 years, no good schools. For 60 years, your politicians are traveling abroad for medical treatment. I ask you, what is there to be proud of about Nigeria? Name one thing you can be proud of. Name one thing. It's a question I'm asking you, Dele. Tell me one thing you can be proud of in Nigeria.
Nigerians are amongst the brightest people in the world, including the Igbo people, of which you are one. You're a very brilliant man. That is Nigeria in your DNA.
I was born a Biafran, not a Nigerian. Nigeria is a historical mistake.
Was there a birth certificate at that time that wrote Biafra on it?
Of course, yes. You want me to show you? I will show it to you. I can email it to you. It's not here with me right now. I can email it to you. My person is Biafra.
I don't mind.
I will email it to you. So you see, what I'm asking is, if Nigeria never existed until the white man came, Why are you, as a black African man, defending it? What's a white man created? Why? When you have Yorubas in Benin Republic, Yoruba is in Togo, they speak your language, they eat your food, they dress the same way you do, you have the same culture, the same value system, the same orientation, and I'm asking you, and the white man came from Europe and said, oh, you are Yoruba from Togo, you speak French. You're Yoruba from Benin Republic, you're going to speak French. But you, you're Yoruba from Nigeria, you speak English. Are people not perturbed by that? That level of dehumanization, that level of subjugation. You see, the one thing that shocks me about Africa and their class of intellectuals is the fact that they are willing to swallow hook, line, and sinker anything the colonial master gives to them. And I've asked you this very question. Can you go to Europe and create a country as a black man? The answer is no. Then why must you accept what a white man is doing in Africa? Do you see why we are poor and very backwards? Do you see why Nigeria can never have 24 hours of electricity? Never, ever, ever, ever. Because the foundation is faulty. The orientation of Fulani Janja, people were protesting SARS killings in the south. Fulani people in the north were busy having fun and laughing and smiling. And you want to be in the same country with them. Your value system, your reasoning, your understanding, your orientation can never ever be the same. Never be the same. Why did Britain leave the EU? Then I'm asking you, are they not Christians? Are they not Democrats? Are they not, don't they believe in free trade and voting people in and voting them out? But then, why did Britain leave the EU? Why? The same Britain that left the EU is asking me not to leave Nigeria. Nigeria that is only 100 years old. Your grandfather was not a Nigerian. Was not. So why must you throw away the history of your family, the rich history of Yoruba people? Because a white man called the place Nigeria. Why must you do that? Why? Can I go to England and name them and name them Albania and say all your history is now gone? We are doing our ancestors a disservice. And let me tell you why Black Africa cannot go forward. Some people, not you, some people accepted this nonsensical balkanization of Africa with their useless flag independence. And your ancestors are in the grave. Your ancestors that existed before the white man was born, they are in the grave. You jettison their history and their identity. You banish it, you denigrate it, you insult them by accepting this garbage called Nigeria, and you want them to be happy with you. That is why no black African country can see development. No black. You see South Africa. When whites were running South Africa, everything was good. Now blacks took over. Look at what is happening. Because even the land of Africa itself is angry with us. We went to school for a reason. The reason why you go to school is to question certain things. And the question is this: why is it that you, as an African, you're willing to kill, to die for something a white man created when they cannot do the same thing for you? You see how they are not equal to us. You see why they are always better than us. And nobody can tell me with any ounce of conviction or justification the reason why Yoruba people should be in Togo, in Benin, and in Nigeria. Why can't they be in one country, the same way that the English people are in one country in England? Or should I say in the UK? These are the things that we must ask ourselves.
Okay, thank you so much. Thank you, Mazi Nnamdi. I mean, you are very passionate about your beliefs. Nobody can take that away from you. So now we get to the stage where I already jotted down some questions from members of the public. The first is that you hold a dual nationality. So they are saying you have a choice, you have an option. What about those who have nowhere to go?
The reason why you are interviewing me today is because I got lucky. My parents didn't get lucky. People who were in my house did not get lucky that very day, they died. My dog also died. Jack, they killed my dog. Now, listen very carefully. People don't understand. You see, there is a level of flippancy in Africa, and should I say, we don't interrogate any concept or phenomenon with a great degree of sincerity. Why do I have a Nigerian passport? The same way that Awolowo, Chief Obafemi Awolowo, held onto a British travel document. Did that stop Awolowo from fighting for Nigeria to be independent? I'm asking you a simple question. Did that stop him? Awolowo went to Glasgow to study.
A British document.
Exactly. He traveled abroad. Awolowo traveled abroad to study. He read economics in Scotland, and he came back. Probably even on British scholarship. The fact that Awolowo was availed of free education in England and traveled to England by ship in those days with British papers, did it stop Chief Awolowo from fighting for independence of his people?
And I must say, he was a lawyer.
Thank you. Sorry, I do apologize. I do apologize. He was a lawyer as well, but he also read economics. Do you know he read economics as well? He also read. He's a lawyer. I agree. Now, I'll ask that question again, so you answer, so that the whole world can hear. Yes, the fact that Awolowo went to England and studied, or let me say Britain and studied, United Kingdom, came back, became a lawyer and an economist. Did that stop Chief Awolowo from campaigning for independence from Britain? I don't know if you can hear me. Can you hear me?
Hearing you, yeah. I understand your logic, yeah.
Now, the same thing with Dr. Nnamdi Azikiwe. He traveled to the US. He studied. He traveled to the US with British papers.